Hey, what's going on, everyone? NoZoupForYou here, and it feels like it's been a really long time. In fact, I'm pretty sure it has been a fairly long time since I've done a video. You know, life happens, adulting happens, and having kids happens. So, you know, it's not a bad thing. And if you know that's the way things are, I'm fine with it. You know, love my kids, love my family, and you know, this has always been just a hobby. So I think moving forward, there are going to be times where I can't get out, you know, video every day of the week, or twice a week, or 3 times a week, and it might just be once a week or once every 2 weeks. And you know, I'm cool with that, and hope you all are too. This round you're watching right now is played by Gyphon. You'll know, you've seen some of his videos in the past. He always has some really good rounds, and this one right here is no different than the rounds that he's had in the past. Just an amazing come from behind, last second victory type of round in one of my favorite low tier battleships, Giulio Cesare. And you see right here, he's kind of got a mix of bots and actual players. And you know, I'm really not a fan of how Wargaming moved to this whole low tier situation in which we've got bots and we've got regular play. I just don't like it. That's all I'm going to say about that. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it. But, you know, it's funny because some of these bots are actually better than the players that you play with, you know. You'll get that one bot that makes it to the end of the round and almost wins the round for their team. So it's kind of funny in a way. So maybe the bots aren't that bad at all. And that's a pretty good opening salvo on that bot right there. What I want to talk about today are Superships. Yeah, everybody's favorite thing, right? The Tier 11 ships, the Superships. You no doubt know what those are. You've probably seen them a lot, those little ships that have stars in them. Well, unbeknownst to me, because I wasn't paying attention to the news on that, they're actually coming to the tech tree line. This has been pretty much a an open testing for them, and they're going to be added to the tech tree lines. Yeah, I don't know what I think about that. I mean, it's like, okay, if you're going to have a tier 11, why don't you just call it tier 11 and not a super ship? I mean, why don't you just make another tier? I'm sure players, I'm sure the tier 9s won't mind playing against tier 11s. It just, well, that's where we're at right now. So I just kind of want to give you a little informational on what's going on with those. According to Wargaming, by now, Superships have been through several different rounds of live testing, starting with Grand Battles and Update 10.5. Yeah, I do remember those. And followed by their presence in the 5th season of Ranked, which I'm sure players absolutely did not like. In Co-op Battles since 0.1010, and in Random since 11.0. In Update 11.3, Superships will finally exit testing and make a permanent appearance in the national tech trees. Oh yay! Aren't we so happy about that? How do you get them? Well, that's the question, right? How are you going to be able to get them? Access to Superships. According to Wargaming, even though they will appear as a progression of tier 10 ships on the tech tree, Superships are not just a simple continuation of the existing branches, but a mechanically different feature altogether. To further emphasize their unique status in our game, we've decided that only players who own or have researched at least 3 tier 10 ships will have access to them. So if you only have 1 tier 10 ship or 2 tier 10 ships, sorry, you don't get them. You gotta get another research ship. Furthermore, in order to purchase the super ship, a player must have also researched the tier 10 ship of the corresponding branch. So that makes sense right there. If you want the Satsuma or whatever it is, tier 10 Japanese, you gotta have the Yamato. That makes sense. I mean, that's not strange there. With these restrictions in place, we can ensure that it is far more likely that players commanding superships into battle will already have significant game experience under their belt. And I think the thing is, they don't want anyone to get a hold of these players that don't know what they're doing, go out there with them, and, you know, just waste them. So I can understand that. I wish they'd do that with more stuff in the game, but I guess this is somewhat of a win, right? The purchasing cost of superships depends on their class. Super battleships will cost 57 million credits, carriers 48 million, cruisers 47.5 million, and destroyers, the lowly destroyers, 45 million credits. They'd like to avoid an overpopulation of super battleships compared to the other ship types, so we assign them a higher purchasing cost, but I don't think the players that are going to be able to get these are wanting for credits as of right now, so the difference between carriers and battleships or everything else, that 10 million credits isn't going to make that big of a difference, so I see what they're trying to do, but I don't think it's going to have the effect. Supership Economy. One of the most important aspects to consider when adding superships to the tech tree is their economy, meaning their post-battle income and maintenance costs. Over many years of active development, the game's economy has, in a sense, accelerated due to the many bonuses and economic signals introduced, making it easier to earn credits or even the most expensive to maintain Tier 10 ships and significantly influencing their popularity. Yeah, I think we all remember back in the day when you actually lost credits, even in a win. I'm glad to see those gone. When it comes to super ships, we decided to change our approach in order to prevent them from becoming too popular in the matchmaker and ensure Tier 10s have an economic advantage over them. Credit earnings in super ships will be similar to Tier 10s. Post-battle servicing costs for super ships will be set at 360,000 credits. So that's actually a fair chunk of change right there. Permanent camouflages on super ships will not reduce servicing costs or increase credit earnings. However, they will give higher XP per battle bonus, which who cares about that? So yeah, it's going to cost you to play these things. Additional clarifications. The addition of superships to the tech tree will not affect the Research Bureau in any way. Superships cannot be reset, so if you reset the corresponding branch, you'll keep the supership. Branches resetting won't affect your access to superships. Once you gain access, you'll keep it. Even if you reset your research branches, battles with superships can include Tier 9 and Tier 10s. Matchmaking limits regarding the number of ships per tier and the number of bottom tier battles per player remain the same as within Tier 8 and 10 battles. Battles with only superships are also possible. In the update 0.11.3, only superships that have already been openly tested will be introduced to the tech tree. Satsuma, Hanover, Condé, Annapolis, Yamagiri, Zorki, United States, and Eagle. In the future, new superships such as the announced British cruiser Edgar and French battleship Patrie will undergo the standard closed testing and balancing procedures before introduction to the live environment. Oh yay. So they're going to be adding a lot more of these. The introduction of superships to the tech tree is an important step for World of Warships, so we will be closely monitoring feedback and statistics, and if necessary, make changes to ensure that they only provide a positive gaming experience for our players. So I thought the addition of submarines was an important step for World of Warships. We still don't have those. These feel like they've been kind of rushed out, and we're getting them very, very quickly. I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest. You know, Superships, what are your thoughts? Yeah, this game is just getting so bizarre. Anyhow, Gyphon right now, he's got 3 kills, and they're still losing. They've got no caps. They just lost their only cap. Things aren't looking good right now. Things are not looking good at all, even though he got his Confederate. He's trying to tell him right now we need caps, but I don't know how much luck you... Well, not going to have that much luck. It's 2 on 5 right now, and in most situations, that would be a definite loss.